guys. So it's been a while since I did a vlog, and there's been the bit has gone on since the last time. So yeah, so we've just kind of been pottering away, keeping kind of, busy. But like 2 weeks ago, I had a lesson. I was really good. It was like our first lesson in a while. So basically we worked on kind of lateral work, which we did really well at. We worked at like canter, we worked on like keeping myself straight and balanced, and not like, dropping my shoulder and doing all those kind of silly things that I always do without realising. So yeah, it was really nice to have a lesson a few weeks ago. The main thing that came of that though was the instructor actually kind of said like Ruby looked a bit kind of unbalanced in her trot. And then we kind of noticed that she's always been weak on the left rein. That's like not news, but we kind of sort of came away from the lesson thinking, there might be some kind of physical issue there that needs addressing. So yeah, so basically on like after that I kind of decided like, okay, maybe Ruby needs a physio session. So I booked a physio session, and yeah, basically the kind of physio, her feedback was, it's very, very like she's on the cusp of like, is she just kind of, she's 15, like is she kind of like an older mare that's just a bit stiff, or is she kind of, is she lame? So she was like on the cusp, and then she was like, look, I just recommend that you get like a full lameness assessment just to see if there is anything kind of going on there that can be kind of addressed easily, and would make her more comfortable in her work. But having like, she's not lame in that like she has to be off work. So I'm waiting on the lameness assessment now. Basically today is Sunday, and her lameness assessment is on Tuesday morning, so that'll be interesting to see. I'm hoping it's maybe just a bit of arthritis that could be kind of treated with a corticosteroid, but the physio had a good feel around, so it's not muscle, it's definitely kind of like a pain in the joint or something. So that's been interesting. Ruby, like I've had Ruby 3 years and she's never taken a lame step. Like she's been always sound. So yeah, I like whatever she needs she'll get. Like if I'm whatever kind of work needs to be done or whatever they recommend we'll do. So yeah, that's just something different, I suppose. But in the meantime I kind of asked the physio like, would she recommend that I stop riding her in the meantime? And she said no, because basically like if I give her until she has her lameness assessment off, the little subtle lameness that is there might not show up, because obviously she's had a few days off of rest, so they like it might look better but it's actually not really better. So which made sense to me. So, and plus we're not like, it's not like we do very high intensity or heavy work anyway. So yeah, so I think today the plan is to a few kind of like errands to do first. I have to go get Ollie new food and stuff, so I'm going to go do that, and then I am going to go to the yard. And yeah, hopefully today I'll bring her in and might like play dressage and put like a matchy set on and just like have a proper kind of fluty day, because like work's been just so busy the last few weeks, and I'm just like, I just want some proper good like horse moochy around waste hours of my life hanging around doing nothing kind of with my pony day. So yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to. So hope everyone is doing well, and yeah, I'll bring you along with us for the rest of the weekend. guys, excuse the state of me. I love summer, but it doesn't love me. I'm like dying of hay fever, and just like, I mean, it's like a mildly warm day, like maybe 24 degrees, and I'm like, can't cope. But yeah, I started a vlog last weekend, and basically we didn't get up to too much because Ruby was having that lameness assessment on Tuesday, and so I didn't really want to do too much. I can't remember, did we even do a bit? I think we did maybe some light work, but I don't think I got any clips of it or anything. So yeah, it's just that she was having kind of problems with her left canter lead and just didn't look quite right and being trotted up and stuff. So yeah, so Ruby had her lameness assessment on Tuesday, and the vet noticed it was definitely a hind limb lameness there. She thought it was like the right hind, I think, I get them mixed up, but yeah, she thought it was like the right hind. So she gave me a couple of options. So she failed the flexion test basically. We did a trot up, which the vet was like, oh, she's a bit stiff and looks a bit short in her walk, and then we did the flexion tests, which she failed, and then we did like a lunge on the arena surface, and again she was fine on the right rein, but on the left rein she really struggled to stay in the canter. Especially, it was mostly noticeable in the canter, where she just really struggled to even stay in that gait, and just like had no flow, kind of no rhythm. So so we came back in, and the vet gave me a couple of options. So the first option was to bring her to the clinic and do a full kind of lameness workup. So that is where they kind of start basically at the foot and move up to the stifle kind of and nerve block, each kind of region, obviously one at a time, to kind of, it's like a process of elimination to try and find out where the pain is. But that is quite like a lengthy process, and like, I'm going to be honest, quite costly. So she also suggested, which would have been the second kind of best option in her opinion, was to x-ray her hocks and see if there was any arthritic changes there, because she said based on her pattern of lameness she believed that the issue would have been her hocks. Now, she couldn't guarantee it, but she said that if she was to bet, like, that would be her best bet. So I went for that option, just because as well, so I don't have transport, so it would have been more difficult to do option A. And yeah, so we got the x-rays done, and the x-rays showed some very mild arthritic changes in her hocks, both hocks. Nothing like, considering Ruby's kind of history and her like workload that she used to do, like kind of, she competed up to a high level in dressage, and she did like kind of 1m10, 1m20 tracks with show jumping. So considering all that, like, we were expecting much worse than actually was there, so it was quite mild, but it would have been enough to be like, it's an arthritic change. And then the vet suggested we medicate them with some steroid injections. So we did that. So she got a steroid injection in both hocks, and yeah, so like I think the only risks with the steroid injections were increased risk of laminitis, and then obviously risk of infection at the injection site. So the vet kind of thoroughly cleaned the area where she clipped, actually she did clip the area where she was going to do the injection. Then she thoroughly cleaned it with some antiseptic, gave her the injections, and she wasn't allowed out for a day after, just to kind of let it settle and everything, and then she could be turned out as normal. The vet recommended that she have a week off and then a week of just walking, and then she can carry on as normal. So yeah, so we're just kind of coming up to a week of her having a week off. I was planning on bringing her in and doing some kind of walking work in the arena today, but to be honest, I think I'll leave it, because I'm just like, it's so hot, and it's warm, and I'm dying of hay fever. So I think I might like start that tomorrow. But yeah, no, I feel quite positive about it. So the kind of what the vet kind of left with was that if it was those arthritic changes, those mild arthritic changes causing the issues that causing her to present lame, then those injections should kind of fix it. If there's still an issue in 3 or 4 weeks time, then we'll know that it wasn't those arthritic changes in their hocks that had that effect, and we'll have to do kind of like further investigations. So I'm really hopeful that it is just those mild arthritic changes, because it does seem like a very manageable thing and that we can keep on top of. I'm going to order her the flexibility supplement, which can be added to her feed. I've heard really great things about it. I did ask the vet if she recommended any supplements, and her advice was to get a supplement that had both glucosamine and chondroitin in it. She said that like it needs to have the two of them in together to be effective. So I'm going to order one of those. And yeah, I'm going to actually also speak to the farrier to kind of see if there's any sort of remedial shoeing on her hind feet that we can do, or maybe even go barefoot on the hind feet. Like I've read that I've heard that's meant to be good for horses that present with arthritis. So yeah, no, I'm feeling optimistic, and I feel like it's really, really manageable, especially because it is such a mild case. I think there is horses out there that are still competing and still working away with even worse cases of arthritis than Ruby, and it's not an issue because it's well managed. So I am like very optimistic about it, and yeah, I will probably make like maybe an updated video or something on like how we manage it, or what the all this is kind of depending on, hopefully it is the arthritis, the mild arthritic changes that are causing her symptoms. But if it is, then I think I will make like a management kind of video on it, because I think that would be interesting. And yeah, so I'm gonna go up to the yard just to like pet her and bring her out for some hand grazing, and maybe do some, I got a new target in Lidl. It's actually basically one of those like foam water guns for children, but I saw it and the Or Plus trainer in me is like, oh, Target. So yeah, I got one of those in Lidl today, so I'm actually going to bring that up and play with it just as a new target. And yeah, like and that's the great thing, because like, now to be fair, I'm very lucky to say that Ruby has never had like a time of box rest or anything, but I am lucky in that she understands and responds so well to this kind of positive reinforcement training that it is very easy to kind of keep her entertained and keep her engaged, even when we can't do ridden work. So yeah, that's just the kind of update. Oh god, I can't believe I'm talking for like 8 minutes now, but yeah, I will I'll film more when I get to the yard. Spoiled your Rubes, your little rehab pen. Come on, come over. Come on. I can't see how you're walking if you don't walk. Come on, Rubes. Come on. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Thought I would do a Ruby update. So I think the last I left was she had gotten her hock injections, and we were just starting back with the rehab. Not the rehab, but like her kind of getting back to work plan after her injections. So that was all fine, and there was no complications from the injections. She had a day's box rest, a week off, and then we just started back to do some walk work. And then Ruby went out to the paddock, decided to test out her new back legs, threw a few moves, and then came in lame on her front leg. So, well, it's just so typical, like horses. But yeah, so she's been lame on that. There was a lot of swelling. She was quite lame on it, very like dog lame. There was a lot of swelling, heat. At first I was like, is it somehow related to the hock injections? So I got the vet out and he said no. It's just that, coincidence. So yeah, so that's obviously she's had the last week and a bit off. We've been dealing with it. She had like 5 days of bute, and then she's been on box rest for nearly a week and a half now. And she's walking fine. She's actually sound and walking trot now, but there's still a tiny bit of swelling there. So if that doesn't go in the next day or so, probably be getting the vet back out again just to kind of reassess and see if she is okay to be turned out. But in the meantime, she's got put in this like paddock to walk around. So we thought maybe like a little bit of walking around might kind of reduce the swelling. But yeah, obviously it's a bit like annoying. I was dying to test out her new back legs and see if the injections had made a difference to her, but that's horses. So yeah, I'm just hoping that she'll get back to herself soon and we can crack on, because there's actually dressage going on at the yard today, and I'm just watching it and I'm like, I really wish like we could give it a go. But yeah, and it's just, I'm really grateful to be at this yard where like she has this whole pen that she can go out and like there's like these kind of facilities where so it's not as bad for her to be like stuck in a box all day. So yeah, that's the update. Basically like my bank balance has taken a beating, but anyway, I've had her 3 years, and to be fair, like she's never been lame or caused any issues, so I'll give her this one.